Welcome back everyone. I'm here in the sunny Wye Valley, in the Lower Wye Valley, in Llandogo in fact. And I'm sat at a place where my dear brother Paul and I sat back in 2015, May 2015, 8 years ago. I haven't been back for 8 years. But I'm here to do a simple walk today from Llandogo back into Monmouth. I really look forward to it because the morning is absolutely spectacular. The journey in was wonderful. I was coming in through the valley on the bus and there were cottages with, you know, smoke coming out of their chimneys, and it just reminded me of kind of old school Wye Valley. It was beautiful. And I met some wonderful people along the way. An old boy in Hereford and another old boy who just got back from New Zealand, and we were chatting on the bus. And I just got off the bus at Llandogo now, and a woman smiled at me as I got off the bus. I mean, it's just wonderful. And then I just met a lovely chap called Steve across the way who was cleaning the village up. He had a spade and a bucket and this, that and the other, and he was just doing general maintenance in the village. So I was just chatting to him now, talking about the Wye Valley walk. He'd done the Wye Valley walk with his wife. So yeah, a wonderful start to the day. And I'm looking forward to the walk. We're at an old church. I think it was first established in the medieval period. Llandogo was once upon a time an old boat building village. They call it the flat bottom trows, don't they? The old flat bottom trows used to sail up and down the Wye here, delivering goods from the woods down to Bristol. In actual fact, there's a pub in Bristol that immortalises this village. I think it's called the Trow in Bristol, I believe. I'll put it up on screen. But yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really happy to be here. All right, guys, I'm just going to remember Paul. It's one of the reasons why I'm on this walk today, besides enjoying the Lower Wye. Paul died this month. 7 years ago, so you know, pretty much every year I go out and remember Paul. Our last hike together was one day to the day 7 years ago, and that was the River Trothy, and we'll be intersecting the Trothy as we head back into Monmouth. Alright, that's about it from me. I'll see you on the trail. The Wye Valley is looking glorious, and the river's up slightly and it's got some good volume to it. So I'm just hoping, well, expecting some pretty glorious sights. I'm hoping the light is on my side today so that I can get some good photographs. But yeah, all good so far.
Passing through this delightful woodland, I was on a track. I wasn't supposed to be on this track, but decided to take a shortcut. I didn't want to walk the road because it's quite a busy road, the A466, which heads towards Chepstow from Monmouth. We're actually heading for the Bigsweir Bridge, which is a cast iron bridge which was built in 1827. It was built to carry the turnpike road, which straddles both the English and Welsh side of the Wye, from Monmouth to Chepstow in fact. At the toll bridge I stopped for a moment. This toll bridge here was built for the toll manager. The tolls were taken to maintain the turnpike road, built in 1827. There would have been accommodation in this toll house. But back in 2015, Paul and I hiked part of the Offers Dyke and bumped into this guy called Patrick and his friend, and we had a fantastic chat here. So yeah, it was a wonderful memory. Just stood here for a few minutes, remembering our connection and the hike in general. It was back in May 2015. It was a fantastic hike. Moving on, I descend down from the toll house and Bigsweir Bridge and walk the rest of the valley to Monmouth. Well, towards Redbrook.
Just lovely, absolutely wonderful. The woodland hasn't stopped yet. It just carries on for possibly, yeah, from Ross on Wye all the way down to Chepstow, specifically Simmons Yat. Yeah, it carries on for about 15 miles, I'd say. It's renowned for its woodland, the Wye Valley, the Lower Wye Valley, that is. Predominantly, we've got oak in the Lower Wye, some sessile oak as well, and beech tree of, well, they've grown here for centuries. It's no wonder there was a woodland economy here once. All right, I think the next stop, or yeah, the next pass through will be Redbrook, or it might be Redbrook. I'm not too sure. I've got to check the map. All right, I'll bring you back. Yeah, it's too warm, so decided to take some layers off. What do they say? Which I should have done, in fact. Be bold, go cold. Yeah, I ought to have done that. I ought to have taken my jacket off back at Llandogo. That is absolutely amazing. If only you could bottle that smell, you know. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Aromatherapy. It really is aromatherapy, isn't it? So, you know, aromatherapy pretty much has its origins in nature, doesn't it? And it's good for us. It's a vibration. It's a bit like colour. You know, colours are known to have a vibration, different colours. It's the same with smells, you know. It's a total all-round bath today. I'm woodland bathing, and I'm bathing in the scent and the smell of the woods. Yeah, I wanted to come down by the river, so I'm hoping that this will lead me right through to Redbrook. But yeah, fantastic, how about that? This is what I wanted today, was a beautiful river walk, and I've got one. Yeah, no public right away, so I'm going to get on top of the bank. So I've walked a fair bit. Whoops. Oh, bugger. I'm getting snagged left, right and centre here. Get off. Up here, back onto the bridleway. That's what you call a reception party. That's alright, mate. I just see no public right away, so back onto the bridleway. Cheers, mate. There you go, got a reception party. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a taste.
That's good water. That's amazing. Beautifully filtered.
Yeah, just coming through Redbrook. This is part of the old Wye Valley railway system. I'll put details on screen. I haven't done any of my research. But yeah, the river's up. Big time. Whoop. Alright, mate. Yeah, busy today. Quite a few people out. Yeah, I think it's called the Boat Inn, I think. There's a lovely old pub in Redbrook. Yeah, the Boat Inn. I'm not stopping too long. I'm going to carry on, get down to the riverside. Yeah, I haven't got time to stop for half a Coke or anything. But yeah, pleasant space to walk through. So if you're passing through the Boat Inn, it's on the right bank of the river. Redbrook is on the left bank across the bridge, and the Offers Dyke is that way. The Wye Valley Walk comes across the bridge and on through to, yeah, Llandogo, Cledden. In fact, it'll take you through Cledden Falls towards Tintern, the Wye Valley Walk. But yeah, the Boat Inn. Yeah, there's the river. On the opposite side is the Monmouthshire Showground. So we're not far from Monmouth now. We're just heading through the base of, I believe it's Liveoaks Wood, and we're heading towards Troy House and Troy Farm, and then into Monmouth. Meanwhile, we're having this wonderful woodland walk right now. It's been a mix of woodland and open field and light and shade all day. I'd just like to mention, as I say, it's all beautiful on the outside, all beautiful, and there's lots of people out enjoying the valley today. But I think about the river, and I was thinking about the salmon specifically, because when I was young, we used to see a lot of salmon leaping. We used to see salmon that had naturally passed away and they were floating on the banksides, you know. So yeah, there were a lot more salmon back in the late 70s. I'm specifically thinking about the late 70s and early 80s. In actual fact, the rod catch in 2021 was the worst ever. I believe it was below 300 salmon rod catch, when in the late 60s, early 70s, the rod catch, well, in its peak, in its heyday, was up to 7,000 rod catches a year. So, you know, from 7,000 to below 300 presently, that's shocking. It's said that in 20 years' time, salmon might well be extinct in the Wye. Just think about that. You know, the Wye down there. The Wye was once a famed salmon river. So that tells you what's happening to our ecology. It is awful. And yet, as I said, you know, 2.odd million people come to the Wye Valley each year, 2.1, 2.5 million visitor days a year. And yet a great many of those won't give the ecology of the river one single thought. It's all pretty, you know. It's like the picturesque movement. The picturesque movement still thrives in the valley. Yeah, that's it. The picturesque movement still thrives. But yeah, what about the ecology? Well, salmon have been battered. And I'm not just talking about out in the sea, you know, big commercial fishing, preventing salmon, preventing their return to the rivers to spawn. I'm talking about a whole range of issues that have impacted upon the population of salmon in the river. One of the main issues would be agriculture, you know, clearing away banks for livestock, or should I say livestock clearing away the banks, because the banks, you know, the trees, the shrubbery, the grasses, this, that and the other, they provide shade for the river and nutrients for the river. So you know, it's very valuable to the fish. Of course, when you've got no shade and you've got no grasses and you haven't got that kind of ecology on the bankside, what it does, it widens the river, and consequently the river is shallower as a result. Whereas, you know, if you have a lot of trees and a lot of shrubbery, a lot of grasses on the bankside, it narrows the river and deepens it, which enables the fish to thrive and indeed spawn, because without the trees and the shrubbery and the grasses, and you know, and because of shallowed waters, it affects the gravels as well, the quality of the gravels. So yeah, it makes spawning almost impossible. So that's one issue. And then there's pollution. You know what they call it? They call it diffuse pollution, which is a whole range of issues throughout a wide area. So you got pollution, you got runoff, agricultural runoff, runoff from the cities. Then you've got, well, yeah, one of the things which is never ever mentioned when you're reading these reports is the amount of fish that have been taken out of the river. You know, because the River Wye is fished to death, guys. You know, I've been walking this river my whole life, and sometimes, for example, from Victoria Bridge in Hereford all the way up to the Great Western Way, you can see up to 40-45 people on pegs all the way up the Wye. You know, just imagine that, 40 odd rods. And the funny thing is, these fishermen, they've got about 2 or 3 rods. They've got about 2 or 3 rods each. You know, they're all determined to catch that fish. So yeah, you know, the Wye has been fished to death. Since 2012, there was a voluntary scheme to put back each salmon caught, but it's now made mandatory. If you catch a salmon, you have to put it back. Yeah, so now they have to put back the salmon. It's mandatory. And why? Why do they put back the salmon? Because they know their connection to the salmon's demise, and yet it's never ever in any of the reports. All other issues, you know, runoff, bankside erosion, farming, you know, agriculture, this, that and the other, but never fishermen. You know, because fishermen, you know, when you read the books and you listen to people, they're almost, you know, the fishermen of the Wye Valley, they're almost hailed as some kind of cultural heroes. You know, when in actual fact, they're predators, guys. They're predators. It's as simple as that. Humans are predators. And that's one of the barriers that salmon have in order to get to their spawning grounds, are humans as predator. Yeah, never ever mentioned. But you know, there are people who are really held up to lofty heights in the Wye Valley, historic fishermen that have caught thousands of salmon in their lifetime. And they're not the only ones. You know, you get all the captains of industry here, you get all the working class, you get all the people in between. They all come here to fish and pull out the salmon. They have done over the decades, you know. I mean, they even fished for the alvers, you know, the young eels, many years ago. They fished them to death. There are no alvers in here anymore. You know, so humans fishing has a lot to do with it, but it's never ever mentioned. Yep, humans are pretty much to blame for the lack of salmon in the Wye, including fishermen. Yeah, ideal spot to have a bit of lunch. Well, lunch, that's gone.
Yeah, seat because said tree is wet. So what have I got for a bit to eat? I have got raw carrot and some hummus. Okay, we're coming through Troy Farm now. Troy House is just across the way. And I was just thinking that I need to find a body of water to, to wash my boots. Because, yeah, that was muddy back there. And I'll be getting into Monmouth looking like a dirtbag.
Yeah, looking like hiker trash, which I don't mind at all. I like being hiker trash. Yeah, there's Troy House there. Wow, it's pretty superb, this place. That's Troy House Farm, and that behind it is the late 16th century Troy House. Let's go and see it and wrap up this vlog. It's been a really good day. Wet, muddy, full of light, lots of lovely smells. Now we're getting the smells of a farmyard. Yeah, this farm is very old. It's seen better days. You wouldn't think there's a public right of way through here, but there is. Yeah, check this place out. It's seen some years, hasn't it? Here we are at the gates of Troy House. The last time I was here, these gates were open and I walked onto the property and spoke to some people living inside. Yeah, this property is protected by video surveillance. Yeah, so Troy House. I can give you a peek through here. There's a little gap. Here, look. Yeah, we can just about see.
Look at that place.
I'm not sure that you can see. In actual fact, I've got a photograph at home. Here's a photograph of it, but it is truly in the style of late 16th century. Yeah, some kind of house, isn't it? Incredible. I wish I could show you it from the front. I've been out the front. Yeah, it's absolute rack and ruin now. But yeah, constructed in the late 16th century, so yeah, a good 400 years old. And it was built for a guy called Charles Somerset. It was gifted to him by his father, who was one of the Duke of Beaufort's. And the Duke of Beaufort was like a peerage which was created in the 16th century by Charles I, I believe. I'll have to check the facts out. I don't carry a mobile, so you know, it's off the top of my head. But yeah, fantastic building. So I'm going to wrap up the vlog here at Troy House, and I can hear the Trothy is here. I'll just walk on over, in fact. The Trothy, the River Trothy, which Paul and I walked in November 2016 to the day, is here. There it is. And we followed it round from here to the confluence back in November 2016, and it was pitch black at the time. Yeah, it was a fantastic walk and it was a good memory. So this walk today has been a really good remembrance, and parts of it have been new to me. Other parts, as I say, have been old. I've been through Troy House before. I was just talking to the farmers there, in fact, and they were taking some of the hoof off a cow, had it strapped up in this machine. They wouldn't let me film, but it would have been pretty cool. But they were okay. I had a nice chat. Alright guys, that's it from me. If you like that, give us a thumbs up. There's a fantastic walk from Llandogo to Monmouth, well, Troy House, just outside of Monmouth. If you've got a comment, please do comment down below. You know me, I always get back to you. And if you want to subscribe, guys, it's free. You don't pay for it, but you'll be notified of all my walks and my adventures, and one or two other things as they come up. So yeah, please do subscribe, hit the button down below. I look forward to hearing from you. Alright, that's it from Troy House, just outside of Monmouth. Until next time, take good care.